Hello, my Cudi. Asking Radio is here. Tell everyone you know. The wait is over. 98.5 Speed FM.
Catch us if you can.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Extra Speed on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Catch us if you can. I am King James YiYE, and it happens every day here on Extra Speed, Monday to Friday. And this morning we'll be looking at creativity, and see how creative people are and how different their lives have been. King James YiYE, I'm not alone. I'm with
Mmemshima King
and AôndoNase King James.
All right, so creativity. What's creativity to you?
Okay, for me, I think maybe creativity is maybe thinking outside the box. You know, trying to recognize maybe ideas. You know, just trying to just think of something wonderful, like something that is not normal. Maybe people do a certain thing this certain way. You just try and be creative to just make something beautiful out of the normal. So for me, that's what I can define creativity as.
All right. So AôndoNase, what about you?
For me, I think creativity is basically using your imagination to create something or make something, or add something special or different to something that is already there. Just mainly your imagination.
Right. So the two of you are saying the same thing. Basically, thinking outside the box is a key word there. Thinking outside the box for me. That's just you've said it all. And so people do things, but when you come, they say he's so creative. And we can go on and on with several instances, like you are a tailor, but somebody says, no, I'm not a tailor, I'm a fashion designer. So because they are thinking that it's going beyond, or it goes beyond just, knitting or stitching or putting pieces of clothes together, but how you do it, and all of that, bringing in some stuff, little designs there, like that for tailoring. And so that's that. Everything has creativity inside of it. So if you are thinking outside the box, yes, and then you stand out. Every sphere of life, every profession, whatever, vocation, whatever, it has creativity in it. Everybody. So the point is you thinking outside the box, because if you are not, you will remain the same way. But the other question is, why is thinking outside the box difficult for some people? Why can't they think outside the box?
That's what I was even jotting down, because I wanted to ask the question that, do you think it's everybody that can actually think
you're asking back?
Yes. No, but yeah.
Okay, if you ask me back, but I asked you first.
Yes, I'm going to answer
first,
yes.
Yeah.
But that was what I was just, that you think it's because it's difficult for some people to actually think
not
outside.
Not everybody that is creative. So if we are looking at what we're talking about, the focus is on creativity. Not everybody that is creative.
Exactly.
If you ask me, was everybody born creative? I would say the answer is yes.
Okay.
Because I've always said everyone was born creative. Everyone was born with the same potentials. That is according to King James version.
Okay.
And people just get carried away by society and peer pressure when they are growing up. Even adults, they have peers. I don't know whether it's peers or adults is adult mates.
Yeah.
You know, so if peers refers to, it's not just about teenagers, you know, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So, and your age mates or your friends that you keep, that's why they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. But it's not in every case. So people really don't follow, you know, creativity. They don't follow their heart. They don't follow the inner voice to think something differently. From my experience, because of several reasons. After all, everybody's doing the same thing. So why would I bother? For instance, we have said this before.
Okay.
The way we are doing radio here, like asking radio hardly goes off for 30 seconds. It doesn't even go off. But if for any reason a song is going to play,
okay,
we've not given the number, we have calls.
Oh, really? Hello, good morning. Hello.
King.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, King James.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is it
AôndoNase.
Okay, correct name. What's the meaning of the name?
God give us.
Oh, God. Oh, wow, fantastic. Engineer Sunday Akpakon from Northbank.
Okay.
You're talking about creativity.
Yes.
Let me put it simply as creativity is the art of trying to bring somethingness out of nothingness.
Right.
And also the ability to translate utopian ideas to concrete realities. That is creativity.
So in your profession, for instance, let's say everything is supposed to be done this way. If we're going to put a beam, it has to be this, Y16, Y14 and all. How do you bring creativity in?
Oh, fantastic. By the way, engineering is science that creates something that does not even exist. We create comfort for people, you know, so that people enjoy their lives. You need to bring innovation. You can't continue to do the same thing in the same way. Then that won't be creativity. There are ways you can, let's say you talk of beam now, let's say there is a particular way of designing a beam. Then you can actually try to research, how do I design this beam that it will be more cost effective, that be more aesthetic, and more stable. I know when you bring those ideas, you begin to create, and then your own will be different. And you serve the same purpose, and even better. You know, normally you can design a reinforced concrete beam for certain things, and you can decide to make it pre-stressed, you know, in another form. Or you can decide to change the configuration, the shape. If it's a rectangular section, you can even make it a circular section and make it beautiful. Yeah, seriously. And, you know, nature admires beauty. So you put in some element of beauty in it, and like people talk of packaging. You know, if you have the same product, if your own is not well packaged, the one that is better packaged, will attract better, cost.
You are right.
Even this kunu that they make, that people buy anyhow, Zobo, if you package it properly, it will compete with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it means you are creative.
So that is creativity.
You are right.
On display. Yeah.
All right. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Mmemshima, like we sat in a hall somewhere at meeting, and the beams that were shown, that were visible, there were so many to the eyes, and then the ceiling fan in between them. And I was telling you that the visibility of those beams, make the building doesn't look spacious. The headroom is not enough. So that's what he is saying. For instance, Another engineer will design them to be hidden on the slab, so you're not going to see them. But that's creativity. Another engineer would say, okay, beams are supposed to be shown, blah, blah, blah. They will not be strong. So that is for engineering. But even for Zobash, he said, it's about packaging. It's about thinking. And if you see our Lama Shagodubi the other day on switching businesses, you know there's a lot of creativity, right?
Of course.
Because people are simply just thinking that one thing is not working, and then let me try another one. Should we listen to one of them?
Okay.
But before, I'm selling wrapper. I'm a tailor. But because of the prices of the thing that are high, I cannot be able to sell the wrapper again. That's why I switched to the Zobo and the donut to manage my life for now. But if I have money, I can be able to go back to my wrapper and tailor. So this is what I'm doing for now.
Okay. So that's some sort of creative thinking,
of course,
as well, because I'm doing this,
of course,
and I'm looking at the economy and the materials I need to buy like this.
Yeah.
So in terms of saving cost and moving on with life, let me switch to this.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking, like now, most ladies, even men too, they are going into the fashion world. But you see, most of them, they go into it without having any creative mind, So when they go into it, just after 6 months, they come out and there's no profit in that. Most people that they come to me and I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? Yeah, most of them, they want to become a fashion designer. So I'm like, what new thing do you want to bring to the table of fashion designing? I don't really think if you're going with the mindset of this is what people are doing, so I'm just going to do it, I don't really think you're going to progress. You just have to go into something with a different mentality to just change that world of fashion design. So I just feel if you want to do something, just try, and that creativity, it's very important.
It's what defines life, actually.
Exactly.
Because if you are not thinking outside the box, and it's the same thing, human beings appreciate beauty, as our first scholar said.
Exactly.
So it's obvious that when you see anything beautiful, you say, wow.
Yeah.
Architectural design, structural designs for every building. Why do you go to another country, for sightseeing? Because those people who were designing certain things were just creative.
That's true.
And they do something outside the box. If you go to Dubai, and you're opening your mouth to admire buildings.
Yeah.
That is what it means. 08084275464. That's 08084275464. If you want to call us, we're talking about creativity. You tell us how exactly you are using it. Or even if you find someone, even it's either your child or anybody, if you are a teacher, maybe a child in your class, how creative they are, bringing something out of nothingness. According to Engineer Akbar. So that is how it is. And according to you and AôndoNase, talking about thinking outside the box, because that is how it's done. And then you call us now, 08084275464. So I was talking about creative thinking. Here at Asking Radio, we have so many things to talk about, but I was just going to point out the smallest of the things. And I said, for instance, you are saying that if you are coming with nothing to add and you're not different, it means you're not creative.
Exactly.
And you don't make that difference. So I was saying something as little as a song fades to the end. If it is going to be followed by a speech band, there's somebody going to talk, for those of you who are listening, and then it fades for like a second or sometimes less, just a second, and then we're all like, everybody, what's going on? But if you are a presenter on radio that you're not prepared, you don't know, you are playing what is supposed to be the SIG tune for your program, it's on whatever fader, and then they introduce a song, and then they bring back the SIG tune before they realize they brought something different. Then they cut it, and then you try to
fix it.
So
else.
Anybody going on radio believes that is how it's done, and they're not thinking, no, mine should be different.
Mine should be different.
Yeah, that is the way. Or you are bringing some boring stories, long news.
And I think again, sorry for cutting you. But I think again, some people they just feel that since this thing is this way, nothing exactly nothing should be done about it. It should just be this particular way.
That's rigidity.
Yeah, that's true. That is rigidity. And aside that, again, you see some people like, oh, how do you think, how do you come up with this idea? Because I really feel some people, they have difficulties in being creative or think, so when you like try, like, okay, why don't you do this, how did you do this, how did you even come about this idea? So I just feel like if you cannot think or you can't be creative, please maybe you can pay someone to help you and think.
The problem is, yes, you can do that. You can pay someone to help you think. That is people should be paid for their services.
Yeah,
that's one of the ways. But I always try to insist that everybody has creative thinking. Everybody should have ideas.
Yes,
because
that's true.
I believe God made it that way. So we were talking about idleness the other day. It's because people cannot create jobs. But the creative mind knows those things are everywhere.
Exactly.
So do we begin to pick professions or callings and begin to give people ideas that are there?
Maybe that can help.
Okay. So before I come to AôndoNase to tell us, maybe at the teen age, as teenagers, what the creative things you come about. But you see that we're passing by a tailor's shop, and then you see those small pieces of clothes.
Yeah.
You always dump them and you burn them. Then I'm always seeing something, I'm seeing art in it. And then I'm saying that, okay, if you have a board, and the same way, because most tailors or fashion designers can sketch. So if you sketch the same thing on the board, a light board, like a ceiling board, and you sketch the same thing, then you cut the pieces, like you've sketched a beautiful woman with figure 8 shape, and then you cut the same material, then you put as a wrapper for them or a skirt for them, and they are on the board, and you are doing another form of art,
exactly,
fine art that you could sell. So you do those things that you keep,
definitely
keeping them.
Would come and buy.
One day they will see another form of art.
That's
some
true.
sort of collage.
That's true.
So you are doing another form of art, which may give you more money.
Of course, that's
than
true.
the tailoring. So, but if
Very
you keep
true.
discarding them and somebody gives you the idea, then you feel
Yes, that because that person is not thinking, but the other person is thinking. But at times you see some random people, they go around and pick those pieces. At times I do think like, what do you want to use them for and all of that? But whatever they want to use it for, I think there was this guy that what he does is to pick trash, but I think he was using it to draw something, but that's him thinking out of nothing. He's making something from it, and he is getting something from that out of nothing that he created something from.
Exactly, because I have an artist here, I think it's Aka, and he gets flip-flops, the slippers, they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets them and creates art out of them. If you look at Speed FM, our writing here in the studio is gotten from something. Some sort of plastic that they use for making shoes. So it's a material that absorbs sound, and we're using it creatively in the studio. What are those ways that you can think for somebody who is not thinking creatively? You call us on 08084 275464. That's 08084 275464. Is creativity, is extra speed, is Asking Radio. I am King James YiYE together with
Mmemshima King
and AôndoNase King James.
So teenagers, what are the ways that they think or they are not thinking creatively?
Some of them are thinking creatively actually, and I think this would be the best time to think creatively now that, like my mates for example, now that they are done with school and waiting for results and all that. There are many ways that they can be creative. Some are, but some really aren't. Like one of my classmates, when we're still in school, she always used to she used to make cards, birthday cards, Valentine cards, and it's always from thrown materials, maybe pieces of paper that they've thrown away, or cardboard, or even fabric and cloth. She makes it and she sells, and it's always very beautiful, and she used to get money there in school. So if now she can continue, she will get a lot of money, and that's out of her creativity. So There are actually lots of ways.
I was designing cards too. Then I would sell 50 naira, but I was getting something. So as somebody who wasn't thinking that way, some even have the same talent with you, but I thinking, what is 50 naira per card? Why would I waste my time? But when you are doing it, how about being creative enough to make hair for your just small braiding all back for your mates? Some know that, but they can't do that.
That's true. But it's so disappointing now when you ask few teenagers that, do you know how to make hair? And they're like, no. And I'm like, wow, okay. But I don't know why.
They know how to.
Okay.
I think they're thinking that it should be to a certain level of the woman at the salon. Maybe they should know.
And I think again, encouragement too would help, because I think when one of our children brought a drawing from her maid, I was like pleased about it, and I was like, does she sell them? And I think she said no. I'm not really sure of her answer, but I feel like encouragement too can help, because you see at times our kids, they draw to them what is called beautiful, but to us is like, what is that? It's not fine, but we just try to encourage them and tell them that, oh wow, this is beautiful, so encouragement too can also help children to also grow and still develop that creative mind as well. But if you start discouraging them when they draw, like, oh please throw this rubbish away, I think it will start downplaying on their creativity.
I think somebody who says they should discard work of art, the person themselves are not creative.
Yeah, but you see most of the times, like I would even say like a mom that you have a whole lot to do, and you see children throwing papers that they did something. At a point you feel like, please don't even give me, just throw it away. But I try not to discourage them, I just collect it and tell them that, wow, this is beautiful and all of that.
But they actually come out with beautiful stuff. They do. It's not a matter of
there are times
no. See, in the work of art,
I know.
In the work of art, there is nothing that is wrong.
I know.
Everything is creative.
I know, but
so even if they draw up a human being, that more than 70% of the body is just the head, you will discover that somebody exists like that. It's an imagination.
I understand.
It's creativity.
But as a mom, when you're busy, your head is busy inside, and they show you that what you are saying what you are saying is rubbish.
It means you are not creative. The mom is not creative at that point.
Your mind is occupied.
Exactly. So what you are seeing at that point is rubbish. It's much later that when you pick it up and you're like, oh wow, this is actually beautiful. But I think
that is what I'm saying. So the mom is not creative
at that point.
Exactly. Even if it is at that point, they're not the person.
Don't
somebody has, but I'm saying it. If a child creates something, there's what is called childish arts, and I've mentioned it here before. Don't forget to remember that my father, Spy, was a fine art teacher, music and fine art teacher, fine and applied arts. So I learned that even from primary 5. You see that children at certain age, they are going to draw a bus, and it's only their bus that is transparent. Perhaps they're even thinking of a glass bus in the future.
Yes,
because you see the steering wheel not just up there. But you see where it's touching the base, the chassis of the car. You see their feet on the pedals. Everything. You see everything in the car. So at that age, there is nothing you're going to do. That's how they are going to draw. That is their creativity. That's their imagination and interpretation at that certain level.
I understand what I'm saying.
But when they grow...
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Inji, I saw that back online.
Okay.
I was interested in that your petty argument just now.
Okay.
I could see that the mother and daughter, they always put the text against the father. and I go with the mother and the daughter.
Yes, go with them. Let me hear you.
Thank you.
No, the issue is that when a mother or anybody is busy, stressed up, if you don't have patience, there's a tendency to say, I better take that in a way. That doesn't mean that person is not creative.
Exactly.
No, I don't agree with that. You can react. Sometimes you can react, like that, because they are so busy, your mind is not even there. So what your wife is trying to say that we need a lot of patience with our children, Even sometimes when your child doesn't do well in school, instead of castigating him or her, say, oh, no, it's good, but you can do better, That's the kind of thing. So when you are stressed up, and you don't give particular attention at a particular time, that doesn't mean you are not creative. But we encourage you to be patient with your children at any point in time so that you can't discourage them.
Okay.
So I think I'll be judged here.
Yes. Thank you for judging it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so when you guys are occupied, you're not creative at that moment. That's just what it means, So I was talking about childish art. So at a certain age and stage in life, they are going to draw, and it must be that way.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, a vehicle passes, you just see the head and hands on the steering, but their own, they're interpreting it in such a way that you see it to the end. It's that stage.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing as handwriting. And I was telling the big man to write boy, and it was taking him forever. He knew it, he knew the sounds, he knew everything, but he wanted to write at his pace. And then the Y, the tail of the Y wasn't coming out to cross the line.
Yeah. So you see, it also takes a creative teacher as well to also try and put little children through. When you don't have that creativity as a teacher, I'm telling you, it's not easy at all when you are teaching these children, because at times you find yourself singing, a long tail down with a curve will make a B, and all of that for children.
One of the reasons why, schools are not even supposed to give everybody every class, so that is how it applies. Creativity applies everywhere. And it looks like it's only Engineer Sunday that is able to connect. I'm seeing calls here that are not connecting. 08084275464. That's 08084275464. Tell us about creativity, and if you're applying it in what you do. Perhaps if you are not, we may help you. If you just tell us that you do this, we may tell you how you should be done. Yeah, because even if you are selling meat, even the way you cut it creatively, it makes that difference. Just like we're still talking about kids, and they are that stage in life that they refuse food, they select food. Somebody, a food artist for kids, kiddies food artist, telling you how you should play with colors. Because from the fruits, and vegetables, you have the colors. Green is there. Orange.
This Emeka, today my call is not that busy.
Okay.
I thank God that Speed FM is doing the best. Emeka Nyong from North Bank, Macaulay.
Okay. Emeka,
I love what when my organ forgiven chief, Sibo people used to call, but now he don't get king.
Yes,
so let me leave chief. Now don't pass chief. So like what people are saying, you are educating us. Everybody would must learn. Like this creativity issue, do you know in the schools today, if you keep your children with the teachers, so many of them are not up to that level of teaching children on what to do. Holding their hands with their biros, like what we saw those days. You will see a teacher that time, a teacher is very, very happy to have his own student or whatever learning at any time. These days, you carry a child, maybe a little child who cannot even write very well. For that teacher to use hand and correct or to teach that child how to write. Let's take, for example, from the nursery level to primary. When you ask those children, you will see some of these teachers will just say, my friend, write, you know how to write it. It is not possible. Like all are these formative.
Okay, let me go to your own business now. You're selling rice and other grains, or is only rice?
I'm selling other things also.
Right. Okay. So, how do you think outside the box to make you sell more? If you think people may get bored with what you are doing, how do you think to make your business better?
Yes, I have this creativity in me, or that mind in me, on pushing. You know, number one, you must have the mind to convince people. You must have the mouth to convince people. Secondly, again, you must make sure you go for the quality that is good, that people, if they see it, they will like it. Thirdly, you will not allow things, lies, you cannot allow lies to come in. You see, there are some people who will go into, if you are selling in bags, instead of selling those bags with that, let it be a quality.
not quantity, quality. You see that some people will go and add some other things inside those bags. When the person pay you money and take it to your house, to their houses, at the end of the day, they found out that most of those things are not genuine ones inside. The person will feel bad about it. Tomorrow he will not come back to you.
So
you must be sincere.
Yeah, are you also designing your bag?
No, I am not designing my bag. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes
I understand that one. I understand that one, but people now do packaging of bags, maybe a makerized, long grain, something like that. Do you design your own bags to sell in your own bags?
No, I don't design my own. But I think you who is designing, like those who design, you have their names on it.
Yeah.
You should do a quality issue. Put quality. If it is rice, you put quality rice and let it be rice alone. Yeah. If you are talking about Tom 2, Tom 1, or whatever you have, you make sure that those things are inside. Those ones, if you are telling the person this one is Tom 1, let it be Tom 1. If it is Tom 2, you tell the person this is Tom 2. And let the person feel at home that this thing is what I'm buying. Not that at the end of the day you will go and get something that is not genuine. Tomorrow that customer will not come to your shed again. He will say you betrayed him. And again, you have to design other ways. Maybe when you come, you try to use the correct mood. You know, these days there are people who are going after because they want to make money. They do some certain things and they get this profit. Some people would like to make big profit. It is not good. You try to make lesser profit and make sure you get your customers around you. Those things will help you at the end of the day. So I commend you people for a job like this. In fact, it is educated us. May God bless you all. Bless Nigeria.
Thank you.
Bless our Benue, our nation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I have found a few things from what he has said.
Okay.
So creativity should not mean deceit, because we're talking about packaging. So when you do packaging and what is inside is not what you have promised people, he's saying that that's betrayal.
Exactly.
So you can do very beautiful packaging, saying Tom 1, Tom 2, which is, I think, is about rice that I'm not sure I know Tom 1 and Tom 2. Do you know?
No. I was thinking maybe it was like cereal for children. That's what I was thinking.
No. It might be the length of grains or something. I don't know. I'm only speculating, but that's what he's saying, that it shouldn't be any deceit in it. So that way people have trust in you. So creativity should not lead to deceit. If you ask me,
and you should be sensible enough to not deceive people, because your customer base is what matters. If they buy this from you and you deceive them, they would not come back again. So who it's losing at the end of the day? You're the one, not them. That's what I think.
Okay, it's Extra Speed on King Radio 98.5 Speed FM, Makudi. King James YiYE here together with
Mmemshima King and AôndoNase King James.
So we're jumping, creativity is everywhere, but we're trying to. So AôndoNase, let's say your teachers now, all subjects. I don't know what I should begin with. Maths. Because in secondary school, every secondary school, all of us have come from secondary school, and we believe that there are some maths teachers that are better, even though almost everybody thought maths teachers were very difficult ones, and but some believe. So, what kind of approach does a maths teacher bring in that you loved them different from the others?
Okay, I think my maths teacher in, I think, SS1, I can't really remember, but he didn't just teach maths that he would just be there at the board writing and saying things. He also used to relate it with real life situations also. And he didn't make the class like so boring that it's only about math. He would bring in a few jokes. Maybe he would be like, okay, he has taught enough, let's where someone should stand up and say a joke. So they would say a joke, would laugh, would be lively, we wouldn't be dull, then he would continue. But he usually refers it to like real life situations, not only just what is there in the book and this plus this is this and that. So it was creative and it could actually enter, it got in the head and it was fun.
So I think he was I think he's creative. He's still teaching, right?
Yes, I think so.
So he's creative that way. We have a call here.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is John from North.
Okay, John. We're talking about creativity this morning.
Yes, King James, good morning.
Good morning, John.
And Nasi.
Good morning.
And the radio, is it radio witch or wizard?
Anyone.
Okay, I'm in the farm, I'm even spraying but I say, okay, let me just call and also put in something.
Okay.
Then Nasi was just mentioning something about teaching. Teacher. I thought, even though I'm not a professional teacher, but I was done with my education in Agri. I was in service, so I just decided to engage myself. Naturally, I love teaching because both of my parents are teachers. And one thing with education, should I say education is the future, something like that.
Okay.
So, coming into teaching, let me make a point first. Creativity will cost you. It will cost you because you have to make sacrifices that are naturally not within our normality to make. You may even have some challenges. Like the place I was teaching, the school was a private school, but based in a rural area. And many of them, when they came in, they were unqualified. My class was basic 3. I was teaching up to basic 4 and 5, some subjects there, but basically I was teaching basic 3. And many of them did not understand English, and they were all thieves. So because of that, sometimes when I teach, and I started putting in some little thieves, even though the policy of the school was against it. But then I was just trying to see how I'm going to hide up and put. And I discovered that when I put that in, they used to understand. Exactly. Okay, then I would try to link it up. And then I had to go again and read up about educational psychology of children from that level upwards, up. And I discovered that people like to do what they are used to. They will understand what they are not used to better.
Exactly.
But then I was reported with such reported me that I speak in the class. So
can you just imagine?
They reported.
That is just
Thank you, Godwin.
Some of those children, their average was very poor because like they were not really interested in it. So the second time when we came in, the first time when I came, the standard, actually my standard of setting them exams and teaching them was actually high, but I dropped the way I teach them so that they can go up there and understand upwards. Sometimes they will even complain my exams are too hard, that I should drop it. But I believe that if they are able to go forward, they can do it. And the second term, some of them started picking, and they picked beyond where I expected them. People were getting average of 12 or 30. At least they moved to. Some move from 40 to 44. I think it's an improvement.
Yeah, it is.
Before the exams I saw them writing was not an exam that I could take anybody anywhere. So somebody have an average of 60 and go back and have an average of 30. What is that? It's not consistent. So I wanted to build something. So the basic point I wanted to say is creativity will cost you. That is why some people don't like
it. Will.
Thank you.
That's true.
Thank you
That's
so
true, Godwin.
much.
Thank you. So few things have come out of what he's saying. So communication is about language. By the way, today is International Sign Language Day. So if you don't know how to sign, for instance, you are not communicating, and people will not understand you. People with difficulty in hearing. So he is talking about language, and we always say this. In a school in a rural area where he was, the children in the first place don't understand English, and you have a policy that it has to be English language. Thief should not be spoken.
Yeah,
and he brought a creative way of bringing infusion of Thief English or Anglo-Thief. And then it was working.
Yes.
Then you go and report.
That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense
exactly.
at all. It doesn't.
Because they were understanding him and they were improving.
So just allow him to
to do his thing.
I just feel people just assume that something shouldn't be done in a different way. It has to be this particular way.
That is why he's saying it costs you.
It does.
It does, because even time for you have to invest time and your energy to get your creativity out, because you are actually thinking. That's why sometimes we even sweat in one place, because that creative task is not that easy. And then it works. Just imagine that somebody comes into the AôndoNase's class and they find a maths teacher At that point, it's saying they should tell a joke, and then you go and report that he goes to the class only to crack jokes.
But then he's helping the student to relieve something that would actually make them to understand his subject.
And it's working for him.
Exactly.
Creativity. Come on.
Like if you know a child loves food, maybe you can use food and teach the child.
But it works.
And it would work.
Works.
Instead of you saying you're so dull, you cannot, you know. I just think the teacher is not being creative.
I was using groundnuts, peanuts to do addition. For them, coming up, instead of using stones, I will carry 2 peanuts plus 3, and then once you know the answer, they equals your stomach. They go into your stomach. So everybody tried to get it right,
and you know it,
and it was working rather than stones. Just like we are told, Emeka can correct me, an average Igbo person that you are training, the apprentice Igbo person, if you say 500 naira minus 250 naira 75 they will no change to give you. But when you are saying abstract in the class X minus do plus, they will not even relate it.
You're taking them somewhere else
because it's not going to relate. So even if you say 50 minus 20 without putting naira, an average Igbo boy that has been trained in the market may not easily relate, but he's dealing with money. Though Shima's son was here on extra speed, and he said that the teacher said when you were in school you didn't know maths, but here you are calculating money in hundreds of thousands.
I'm telling you.
So that is how it applies. It what the brain works with. So you use that even as a training material. They call teaching aids in teaching, and then you pass knowledge
exactly. So when our caller from North Bank, John, called and he spoke, he said something about creativity might cost you, it would cost you, so looking at our daughter AôndoNase, there are times that she does things, and there are times that I'm like, it's not fine. And she would go ahead and tell me it's beautiful, and she will start explaining every single thing to me. So I see her as someone that is very stubborn when it comes to creativity. You have to accept whatever she has created, and she will explain it.
Maybe not exactly.
Why I'm saying that is because I also tried to, I read a little bit about Elon Musk. I heard a little story about him, when he created SpaceX, he looked up to his role models, at this Apollo 11, those guys, he looked up to them, and he felt like NASA, they just limited this thing to just these people. What about human beings that would want to also go and also see the moon and all of that?
So not only astronauts.
Exactly, so he came up with SpaceX, and when he did that, it was even his own role models that he looked up to. They were the ones that even took him to the Senate that, no, this cannot be approved. But I think he still went ahead to do what he wanted to do because he's so stubborn, and whatever he wants to do, it has to, take place. And so I just merge him and AôndoNase, and I'm like seeing the similarities between the both of them, because Sarunse will just tell you that this thing is beautiful, and she would explain it to you, and actually you will see the beauty out of her creativity if you don't understand.
Well, what I was saying is sometimes creativity is your imagination, sometimes, most times, and in the work of art, sometimes you allow people to interpret it the way they want, but sometimes people are getting it wrong.
The
so
ones
you
that
have
are
to
not seen.
Yes, that way. People have asked Speed FM, why do you play only old school music? Now they are coming from an environment here in Nigeria that radio stations are hardly specialized.
Yeah,
you have very few. Brilla came with only sports. Wazobia came with Let It Be Patient, but very few. So apart from us, it's Classic FM that is playing old school, but not our pattern, because of the experience we have. So some things you need to explain to people they don't know. We play gospel music anytime of the day. We are 24 hours. Not everybody listens 24 hours, so they don't know when it comes. So our pattern is you have to explain that, look, gospel is not about Sunday.
Yes.
It's about a message. So it mustn't be played on Sunday when everybody's doing the same
thing. That's true.
So you have to explain to somebody.
To someone to understand.
So at that point, you see that their creative mind is closed and you are trying to just open it. So there's no ventilation entering their head. So they can't even think on the same page with
that's
you.
True.
That is why you have to explain. So that is how it is.
Yeah.
08084275464.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, Mmemshima, this is when calling back.
Okay.
Yes. So, something just struck me. The other day you were talking about negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. People who refuse to be creative, many of the time, they find themselves creative with negative energy. that is just what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much.
So
I think that's true. Yeah,
it is
the ventilation you're talking about blocking.
So, but it's true.
Allowing only negative things
to come out. So then you are wondering, if you are this creatively wicked, then why not be positively creative?
That's true.
Because they're only thinking of how your business should go down. They're only thinking of how your own should not. So why, if you can have that energy?
So we have two
that's
type of creative human beings: the positive ones and the negative ones.
Those ones are not.
Well, I just
the negative ones are not creative. They are not. Whatever they are
plot
thinking.
Something negative against
you can't plan evil, and I give you credit as you are creative. You're on your own.
Yeah.
It's 08084275464. 08084275464 is creativity and is extra speed, and we're looking at this here. I am King James here together with
Mmemshima King and AôndoNase King James.
And we have a call.
Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Coco from E Division.
Okay, go on. We're talking about creativity this morning.
Okay. While I was in my JS3, we were writing our JSC. We had to use cardboard papers to construct maths then. So when after the exams were through, I went around and picked up the ones that my mates had discarded. So everyone was just laughing at me that maybe I've turned crazy or something. I've turned to Babambola. So I just picked up this thing and I used it to make a jotter that I used in my SS1. So from then till now, I've just been fine-tuning the art, and even now I've used old pieces of paper, I've bound it into this hard-covered jotter.
Wow.
So that's my own little way of being creative.
Wow,
exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. So exactly. So it works, and you make something from nothing.
From nothing, just like AôndoNase said, that wants to finish his towel
because of a storybook.
Because of storybook.
Okay, he's been buying storybooks.
Using his towel, he would. I don't know how he goes, and he would just pull out a rope out of
make holes in the paper and then tie.
Where is he getting a thread from?
His towel.
His
bathing towel.
He'll just go out and pull out a string and just go and I'm like, wow. So if you see his towel and it holds,
it's gone.
It's gone.
Okay, he started with using paper. He discovered that paper could not hold
together.
So what you can do is to give him a thread.
To be doing that.
Yes.
I think we would be buying thread every single day.
You give him thread, let him
because
be binding.
He writes and writes and writes.
But where are the storybooks? Because I picked them and I kept them.
I tried to gather them, but
they still go back.
They still go back again. So I gave up.
Anyway, so it's Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and you can call us 08084 275464. Tell us your story of creativity, or if you've seen someone who is creative. Parents, you're not calling. Come on, ladies. Women, call and tell us how creative your children have been. And time is not there so much, 9 minutes to go. But call now, 08084 275464. That's 08084 275464. It's creativity. Everybody uses creativity.
Of course.
In the kitchen,
everywhere,
workplace, on your steering, in school, on radio, at the bank, everywhere is creativity. The fashion designer's shop, everywhere. Even the woman selling apupa, everybody. The person who is selling food, there's a way they serve you the food. There is a way they serve you food, and you discover that one person is doing it, it doesn't mean
it's true.
Something is just
you're
there.
Right, you're right. When you even spoke about food, I think there is a certain way that even if someone doesn't have appetite, but there's a way you can serve that food that the person would just be like, I want to eat that
exactly
food.
That's the same way we're talking about children losing appetite. And a designer, food artist was saying that, okay, you have carrots, they are orange, you have turmeric, you have other stuff that are orange, then you have some green vegetables there. So when you combine these colors, even if you are serving beans and a child that does not want to eat beans, somehow they're going to be interested. Like, when you're doing sandwiches, the shapes are there. But even without sandwiches, even if it is normal bread that you're slicing and your child doesn't want bread and you want them to have it at that point, or boiled eggs, and you cut into the shapes, their favorite shapes.
Yeah.
You find
definitely, like just like now you see some cutters, dinosaur shape, star shape. So even if you have a child that is not even interested in eating sweet potato, by the time you cut it with that shape cutter, you see the child will just eat it, and they are so excited in their mind. They are eating
their favorite
shape, maybe a potato that is shaped with star or dinosaur or something. So I think it's creativity that actually bring real good productivity for me.
Exactly, it works that way.
It does.
08084275464. So we go back to when we did a program on switching business, and people who were thinking creatively. We have always had those star contributors, and let's listen to what this lady said.
Okay.
My name is Mary. Yes, I used to sell spinach, but before I used to sell pig milk. But from pig milk, I'm not having gain like I used to have gain in spinach. That's why I exchange. I still selling my leaf back. From my leaf, I can get gain like 5,000 in the day. It's not surprise. But for my pig milk, it depends I sell. That is the when I have my gain. That's why I change. I come back to my leaf. Sister, I might give you
So creative.
Okay, so you can see, what can you say about how we have said before, but just look at her again.
Well, initially she was doing that business before she left it, thinking, okay, there was nothing there, and she wanted to move into something bigger, and she realized that this other thing that I assumed was big, there's nothing in it. Let me actually go back to where I was comfortable and I was making my gain. Basically,
but even multitasking and multi-thinking.
Okay, yeah.
She's answering us.
And her eyes are still on customers.
Yeah. So that is how it is sometimes. You just have to remind people. The person who is coming close to you wants to buy, but you have to remind them. Just like your radio services, why we remind people that they need to advertise is they know that they have a product and somebody needs to know about it. But you still have to remind them that they have to come so that people will know. So it's also creative thinking with the content you are giving out and whatever you are doing. And that is how it works. If you can relate what you are doing, if you're not creative about your radio programming, it will still not have impact.
Exactly, that's true.
So people know that, from something like the last caller now, that's obviously a teenager.
Yes.
I was talking about Jesse. And it's only when you relate this to everything that somebody he can call and relate that to what you are talking about.
Exactly. So you if you notice, he said his mates were actually thinking he turned into a bambola, but whatever he was doing was going to make meaning to him and it was going to serve him. So you don't even need anybody to tell you that this particular thing you're doing doesn't make sense to you. It makes sense to you, and you actually get what you want from that particular thing.
The good thing about creativity is any form of creativity, it may look and sound odd and strange to the people around. Reason is because you are thinking outside the box.
Yes.
So it's not just what everybody thinks on the average. Like the caller on the farm, Godwin from North Bank, because he's saying that, yes, you have to give in something.
Exactly.
And if you listen to everything that glitters is not gold by Don Sills, he says in everything won, there is something lost. So you have to give something to get something.
Yeah.
Either your time, your energy, you have to be committed,
of course,
before you can think creatively. You know, so that is how it works for people. We can still take one more call now. The window is open.
It is.
08084275464. That's 08084275464. We are looking at creativity. Now you've listened enough. It's time for you to tell us how creative your child is, or you are, or your child's teacher is. And probably before the term runs out, you should be able to go and give them an award, you know, for being such creative. By the way, little Harry told me this morning, Daddy, my teacher, I don't want to call the name, my teacher says that we should also give her Asking Radio shirt.
Okay.
And I said, okay. Approved.
Oh, really?
But what's our size? Because I think it's large and medium left. So go and ask, and then come back. So for little Harry, it's an assignment. It's a task. If you really need this for your teacher and you want to convey the message, let me see how you can also keep it in your head to go back there and remember, not to forget to remember to ask for the size. And then come back to me
and tell you
exactly, and tell me that this is the size. And then, you know, so let's listen to this one. And I think there's a lot of creative thinking here as well.
My name is Lucy the Jam. I used to sell chicken meat before, but now I come to sell cow meat, stick meat at the Ulukun market.
Wow. AôndoNase, what do you have to say?
I don't really have much. Perhaps the sales of chicken wasn't really working for her. And then she switched to cow at a different market. Maybe with chicken, let's say, would I say it's small?
Maybe.
It's small and expensive. Or you know, a cow is big, and even if it's expensive, you know,
she didn't get her. Listen again. You didn't get her.
My name is Lucy the Jam. I used to sell chicken meat before, but now I come to sell cow meat, stick meat at the Ulukun market.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's clear now she was selling chicken. Chicken is more expensive. Now she's selling cow meat, which is beef. And she tried to explain steak. So the steak, they were down as low as 50 naira at a point.
I don't even know the prices now.
Now maybe a piece or a steak, maybe 100 or
more than 100.
But it's still cheaper than chicken.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely, it should be.
So that's why she creatively switched from
chicken to beef.
Not just beef.
Okay.
Beef on the stick.
Beef on the stick.
Stick meat, and she made it very clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time to say bye.
All right. Bye.
See you tomorrow. Yeah, on Extra Speed, and of course, you can think creatively. King James YiYE together with
Mmemshima King
and AôndoNase King James.